my name is Peter. Welcome back to the channel. So in the next 3 videos, we're gonna cover a very important topic which stops actually a lot of people doing the first step. They just confused in terms of how do you choose what property to invest your money in. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you stay to the end of the video, and also make sure you subscribe so you can actually get notified for the next 2 videos, which are going to cover the whole topic. Now let's start from the beginning. In one of the previous videos we mentioned that buy to let is one of the main strategies when it comes to property investing in UK specifically. So we're going to stop on, basically we're going to look at how do you choose what property to invest your money when it comes to buy to lets. Okay, now it's easy to go for the cheapest. So most people, the way they think it, how can I actually buy the cheapest property and make the most money? And while that makes intuitive, it kind of makes sense, it's not necessarily the right approach. Okay, now there are different reasons for that and probably a different video altogether, but in this video I'm gonna actually explain the first two criteria we look at it. So we got all together, we got 6 criteria. We call them the 6 C's. Okay, the secret C's. Now the first thing we want to look at is the capacity of the property that we're looking to invest our money at. Okay, because there's so much choice. You could invest money in 1-bed flat, it could be a 2-bed flat, could be a 1-bed house, could be a 5-bed house, could be a commercial property. Okay, so it's like loads of choice. So when people start initially looking at it, it's almost overwhelming. What do I do? Why this? Why that? And people would just not actually make the first step at all because it's just too much. So from experience, what have we found, and it's been proven to work time and again, it's 3-bed terrace / semi-detached house. Okay, and you might be asking, well, why exactly 3-bed? Why not 2-bed? Why not 4-bed? Now it's not to say that 2 beds would not work or 4 beds not gonna work. It's just time had shown that a 3-bed property is sort of the most universal property where the price is low enough so you could find plenty of 3-bed properties that are affordable prices compared to what they bring back in terms of rent. Okay, and also 3-bed property is something that most people are used to living in. It's a typical family house, 3 bedrooms, separate kitchen, diner, lounge, bathroom, maybe 2 bathrooms, depends on where you live. So we want to target the average family. We said we're investing in buy to let properties, so we're going to rent that to the average family, and we want that family to stay as long as possible. We don't want people moving in and out every 6 months or every 1 year. We want that family to stay in the house for 3, 5, 10 years. The longer the better. And by choosing a property that is big enough, we do attract enough people. So for example, if I have 5-bed house, there are not that many families that would need a 5-bed house. But equally, if I have a 2-bed house or 1-bed flat, the person that will be moving into that, it's mostly a single person or a small family that will be growing, and they'll end up moving between 6, 12 months, maybe 2 years. So I want as little transitory as possible. So we don't want to have someone moving in and then next year moving out. It's just not helping us, because every time you have people moving in and moving out, you need to do a bit of refurb, a bit of decoration, you need to find the new tenants, you need to vet them. It's a lot of time, and we want to make it as hands-off as possible. So that's the first thing. So the first criteria, capacity, we want a 3-bed terrace or a semi-detached house. We don't want flats, we don't want mansions, we don't want bungalows. I'm not saying they're not good properties, it's just for this strategy, it's been found that the most universal 3-bed terrace or a semi. Okay. Now the second criteria is we want the property we buy, that 3-bed house, we want it to be in a city. Okay. So again, coming back to pricing, it's easy to go on Rightmove or Zoopla, wherever you look for properties, and just find these houses in the middle of nowhere or like small towns that you could pick up them for like 40, 50, 60,000, which sounds amazing. By the way, if you live somewhere down south, you're probably thinking, what, like 40, 50,000 for a house? The reality is, if you go Yorkshire and north of Yorkshire, there are plenty of little towns in the countryside that you could pick up property for that amount of money. The reality is, these are small towns where the capital appreciation, which we found in one of the previous videos, it's a pretty major thing to look for. No capital appreciation, or very little compared to the rest of the country. So we want to be situated in a city. So we're looking to have at least 100,000 people. Okay, so 100,000 people, that guarantees there is going to be enough business, enough economy there. So if, let's say, one of the main employers goes under, the city does not just go to rumble. Whereas if you're in a small town somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and then you got one main employer and that company goes under, then all of a sudden you have a massive problem in that place. Okay, so you don't want to rely on such things. So again, just to recap, we're looking to the first two. The next are going to be in the next video. So the first two, we want capacity to be 3-bed terrace or a semi detached house, and we want that house to be based in a city. Okay, any city in UK, as long as it's 100,000, we're good. Okay, we don't want to be in the little town, although it could look very attractive in terms of pricing. Do not make that mistake. It's just gonna lock your money, and there will be no capital appreciation, or very little capital appreciation. Okay, so if that was interesting and you learned something, make sure to tune in. The next video will be covering the next 2 60s. Okay, and then will be a third video. So make sure to follow and subscribe. Thank you.